All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon. I had to make sure I recited Tuesday, not Monday, tripping myself over here. So this Tuesday, December 27th. Hope everybody had a great Christmas weekend, at least for all of us on social media. Great to see Mark and Jeff just joining us back, though, and Chuck and all of us inside the Cyber Group trading room. Ravina, Norman as well, and Ron. Great to see everyone here. So, folks, there's always a lot to talk about in these meetings, right? Good or bad, up or down, and of course, in between. Right now, the SPY is just dragging back down right now. So it looks like we might have a short close, meaning an afternoon where we follow the market down, take some short trades, a couple of stocks coming into today off of bad news of their own. So we'll check out NEO. We'll check out Southwest Airlines. My trader's dyslexia is going to trip myself up between Southwest Airlines, LUV, and Las Vegas Sands, LVS. I don't know. You're going to hear that. But for right now, HTGM on the screen to begin. It ended up making a beautiful pop after the market had opened up. But if you take one look at the daily chart, you know what's going to happen next. This thing is a pop and drop stock, to the highest level here. Back in July, it ended up making this big push up from 5 up to 24. Right back down in a much shorter concentrated time frame here, back from December 11th, December 12th, had a huge pop and run up for us back then. Hey, it's like we always say, if this stock can make a fraction of the type of run that it made for us historically, that's a home run. So I'd say that 49% on the day is still a pretty solid run at this point now. I mean, for a long time, actually, this afternoon, it broke over 5. I was watching this on a coaching call with one of our longtime students, Glenn, and I was saying to him, like, I'll say it to you folks right now. I mean, we were coming off Traders Talk, our weekly workshop where we were discussing it, but nothing really good happens after 11:30 in the morning. Nothing really good happens after 12 p.m. noontime. You ever, hear or say to your kids like, "Oh, nothing good happens after midnight." Yeah, well, nothing good happens here in the stock market, or at least much more often than not, nothing good really happens after 12 p.m. So, this HTGM tried to continue, but myself and Glenn, we sat on our hands as it retested 5. We're very thankful that we did. And just now heading into this meeting, this thing just made a huge shake back down towards 450-ish. So, listen, I'm not too thrilled about this stock right now for the afternoon. I'm not going to put this on our list to begin. Maybe I'll come back to it at the tail end if it ends up making another freak pop back up. But I'll tell you, we had a couple of good shorts going right into this meeting. Expectedly so. Southwest Airlines, I was going to say Las Vegas Sands, LUV, Southwest Airlines, with all of their flight cancellations from yesterday and from this weekend alone. I think yesterday there was like 69% of their total flights that were canceled. Crazy. I was looking on Twitter. I thought it was like one airport. That was it. Like, oh, it was an airport issue. You look everywhere, all across the U.S. and elsewhere. There's just major issues with Southwest Airlines and their lack of people to fly planes, pilots, and all of that. So they ended up canceling everything. You would have expected this to make a much better drop off from the morning, though. And that was our talking point in our Traders Talk workshop. I'm not in this right now, although I really wish I re-looked at this. It was right off of this exact line here, 34.35. I ended up jumping in right here, and I got stopped out very quick. Took a 4-cent, 5-cent loss, but on the next time of it breaking below that level, led to a much better drop off. I called it out from 34 for all of us inside the live trading room just earlier. So even from missing it from 34.35 here, there's still plenty of opportunity from the 34 level. Now this thing's at the low of the day. It looks like a really good short now. It didn't really look that great in pre-market. So with that, we'll put LUV on our watch list. Now the stock I've been hawking from top to bottom, from market open to right now. It's not looking too great right now, folks. The NEO, I mean, it's been a fantastic short all from the morning up until right now. But I was saying this in Traders Talk earlier, right? I mean, nothing good happens after 11:30. Nothing good happens after 12 o'clock Eastern time. I was directly telling you folks, do not short this thing. Don't look to jump in. It's the day after, it's the trading day after Christmas. You're not expecting a whole lot of, volatility altogether. And when the markets are flat, granted, if it drops, it's possible for NEO to continue its drop off and for it to be pretty weak. But now is a better time to look for that, even with it inching up right now, because now we have the final hour of the day, final hour and a half. That's where we're expecting at least a bigger and better move. I'm not fully, jumpy to throw this on our watch list for right now because there could be better trades. There could be better shorts or better longs. Either way, right now this looks kind of flat. So do I really want to subject Michael or Grant or Ron or anyone else that did not make money on this trade earlier to jump in on this now when it's moving super slow? This is not going to make us our day's pay right now, or at least I'm not led to believe it will. If this could break down to $10 again, if it could retest 10, that's a different story. But for right now, we'll kind of see what else is out there across the gainers and losers side here, folks. All right, gotta just get my scan here kind of straightened out, but we'll be good to go in a second. All right. Honestly, LJAQ. Try saying that 3 times fast. I actually wasn't going to click on this, just seeing it was trading less than 200,000 shares total. But I just want to take a look just for fun. This thing's making a ridiculously low volume pump, like 340% pump up, came back down, and then spiking back up here towards 30 again. I say it pretty bluntly, folks. If you want to play Powerball, if you want to play Mega Millions, you want to go to Vegas, roll the dice, play some blackjack, be my guest. But don't do that here. That is not what we're accomplishing here. So for right now, we'll skip over that LJAQ. But on the flip side, I mean, hey, we had this on our pre-market list, on our morning watch list, the ATNF. Hey, not everything works out in our favor. So, with this ended up actually making a couple of good trades, namely off of $2, then off of 213, the line that you see there. But lower highs, if it's not going to make that big move that you want, it's going to make a big move. Guarantee it. So, this just recently ended up trying to break over 213 one more time. When it pulls right back below your entry level, like very quickly, if not instantaneously, that's a red flag. And again, if it's not making that big move that you're looking for, very likely it's going to make a big move, just the opposite direction. So unfortunately, this didn't really look to continue, dump back down. But, we got to learn to fold them, right? We got to learn to get out of these ahead of time, just like before on HTGM off of 5. I didn't take this trade at least, but if you jumped in over 5 and it pulls right back below your level, I think it's easy to say now with this dropping off about 38 to 40 plus cents lower, but is it worth holding on to this if you jump in over 5? Right? So let's see what else is out there. LAN V, this thing had a big pop early after the open, but we didn't really focus on it much after a kind of pop and drop move. IMRN, how about this blast from the past? Actually, so far as, well, Friday last week, right? So this was actually on our pre-market list on Friday, ended up making for more of a dud type of move, lower highs, kind of similar to the ATNF, where this ended up just completely breaking down off this pennant. But right now, this thing has made a pretty surprising run back up. It hasn't broken above Friday's high, at least, but, it's showing great direction right now. It's hard to ignore this stock. The reason I would ignore it, if anything, it's not because of the chart. This order book is like paper thin. It's very thinly spread out. So you got to be really careful on this trade, folks. I'll put this on our list for right now. If we build up a better list and come back to this and it's dumping back down, we'll take it off. Ravina says Ape is flat. It's been flat this whole day. We didn't really focus on Ape after like 10:30 or 10 o'clock. TRKA, I guess, for a cheapie. This thing is really cooking. Below $1, though, right? We're not going to really focus on these stocks that are below $1, even if they are NASDAQ national stocks or Amex or NYSE. Normally these stocks don't look to concisely move. PRQR, hey, this ended up making a big move for us back on Thursday last week, a bit of a pop and drop, you could say as well, but now breaking above that high, running up really well across the intraday. It just seems to be stuck right around 320-ish. Actually, that 15,000 share iceberg you could see here on the ask of my level 3, right off of 325. So in terms of showing strength near the highs and a big iceberg level to focus on, this actually looks pretty decent. PRQR. Respect the trend, folks. Do not look to counter trend this right now. You're going to get your account ripped apart. Do not look to counter trend this. Let's respect this trend first, and then we'll see what happens if it false breaks above the 325. All right? Just because it's shortable doesn't mean it's going to be a good short. All right, what else we got here? Leda saying HUYA perking isn't going anywhere. Certainly looks like it. Chinese stock and China stocks were really bullish this morning outside of NEO. Yin, China ETF, gapped up pretty nicely. It's still up 12.5% today. That's pretty damn impressive. FXI, this one's up 4.2%. Another well-known large cap Chinese ETF. So, I'm just using this to kind of gauge the China market altogether. IQ and HUYA tend to move pretty similarly. However, HUYA looks like a lot better of a play right now. So, good call, Leda, for this one. HUYA, for sure. She follows up by saying most gainers list stocks are below $1. Yeah, I see that. There's a lot to kind of weed through here. Got to be careful. So I want to see what else is out there. Hey, how about this? Speaking of Chinese stocks, MLCO, Macau Gaming Company, ended up making a pretty strong move up in the morning. I completely forgot about this stock. Ended up making a strong move, came close towards the highs back from a couple weeks ago. So definitely one I'm personally going to write down for my side list. Not for this afternoon. Doesn't look good right now, but tomorrow morning. Check it out tomorrow morning, the stock. See what it's up to. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck watching the grass grow on ape all day. Same as CDE, Billy after the morning run this had, very flat right now. Billy's a mainstay at least on our side list here. But let's see what else we got here on the loser side, folks. Before I do, let me just jump to FTCH, Farfetched, a stock that we are kind of familiar with off of news. So that's why I wanted to just click on this pretty quickly before jumping to the loser side. And I'll tell you with that, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's relatively slow, but it's right near the highs, right? Kind of like that HUYA in essence. So, for right now, it doesn't hurt us to put Farfetched on our watch list here. It's going to be more of a slow mover, though, if anything. All right, so with that, let's hop over to the loser side here, seeing if there's anything looking just as good. Whole bunch of crap that's hard to borrow or too cheap. Too cheap or hard to borrow, either or. So I kind of just gloss over all of these and kind of start off on NNOX. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, geez, this thing is dropping off quite steadily. Is this breaking all-time lows? Kind of looks like it. Whoa, look at that. Nice way to close out the day, at least, if we can get a great short on this NNOX. Looking really nice. I don't have Bookmap open for this stock, folks. I'll pull it up for all of us inside our live trading room at least once we finish up this meeting. LWLG, shortable, but I like that NNOX a lot more for right now. TSLL, oh, you know what this is? Wow, I caught this actually. I was going to guess it, and it's true. This is an ETF right here. Now, that might not sound so interesting to you. This is an ETF specifically for Tesla. Single stock ETF for TSLA Tesla. If I can ever pull it up. I forgot about this. Bill Ireland, one of our longtime students, and I hope he's doing well if he's tuning in right now live. But he mentioned this back from midway of this year that they were coming out with them. They've been out for a little while, I'm sure. We don't trade ETFs here. I just stumbled upon that from the losers list with Tesla down 8 to 9% right now today. I mean, this thing is breaking all-time lows. At this point, could you short it? Technically, you can. But it's I feel like there's just better trades right now, even. I mean, Tesla, the stock itself, is pretty expensive still, so I could understand your reasoning to follow this. But unless if you have level 4, I would suggest for you to follow other trades. Unless if you have Bookmap, I don't think that you'll be able to actually apply following icebergs and level 3 to an ETF like this. So I'll slip it on our list for us folks that have Bookmap. Then you could definitely give it a good shot. I don't know what the other ETFs are for Apple and the other, name brands that have the single stock ETF to it, but that's all. I mean, Tesla's obviously been getting torn apart. I mean, since before 150 when we were looking at it, but I mean, as soon as it broke that 150 level, Tesla, oh my God. Fausto was saying, of course, earlier, and rightfully so, next support on that is likely just off 100. All right, so with that, I mean, there's a couple more maybe I could sift through on the loser side here. Laser, LAZR. If Lewis is here, I'll be a fan of seeing the stock, perhaps as a short, if anything. But let's see what else is out there, folks. That might just about wrap it up. Maybe Coinbase, if anything, because I know Coinbase was taking a huge hit from today once again, and at all-time lows, right? So in terms of a short, I actually don't mind slipping this on our list here too. Scott from our trading room saying SLNO at the high of the day. If this was on a wacky spread, I would not be too interested. But it's on a pretty tight spread, and it's at the highs. It's hard to ignore this one for right now, right? SLNO. The stock ended up running for us like a week or two ago as well. A week ago, you could see here. So, for right now, we'll put this on our main list. You definitely want to see continuation off this like 178, 180 chart level. That's all. Grant saying LUV reversal. Yeah, a little move back up, but let it build resistance, lower highs. Not every stock is going to trend perfectly. So, for as much as this already dropped after our call outs from 34.35 at $34, not surprising to see this squeeze back up a tiny bit, Grant. Let it build a little resistance here, roughly around that 33.90 level, and we'll see if it can pull back. Mark saying GH for a short. Book could look better. So that could be the X factor. Yeah, down 9%, breaking multi-day lows, maybe all-time lows. Pretty close, if anything. Sheesh, you got to go back to 2019, 2704. It is below there, Mark. This is all-time lows. Pretty interesting, right? I agree. I wish the book looked better, but as a short, as a possibility, I'll put this on our back end here too. But I'll tell you, we're building up a pretty big list, and I don't really want to build a big list on the trading day after Christmas, right? So we still got to treat this as kind of like a wonky day in the market. We have a few good shorts to work with between LUV, GH here, the Coinbase trade. If you can get the shares to short TSLL or the NNOX from earlier. So there's probably just as many shorts to follow going into this close as there are longs that we have on our list. All right, so here, let me just check from social media right now. Looks like we're good to go there. None of us on YouTube or Facebook Live, or at least with suggestions. So with that, we're going to call it, folks. For all of us on YouTube or Facebook Live, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself started. Any questions that you'd like to send over prior to, send over my way, josh@c2trading.com. I always like to post my email there at the end of the stream. Now, real quick housekeeping note for Mark and Norman. Well, not Mark. I'm going to be talking to you, Mark, in about a couple minutes. But for Grant and Norman and all of us live otherwise, Rich is out today. He'll be back tomorrow, but a little under the weather, so he was out today. No audio from 3 to 3:30. No audio 3 to 3:30. I'll be back on right afterwards at 3:30 to wrap things up for you folks. Going into the close, I'll type that in the chat board for anyone that's not listening to me right now. That's all right. But for all of us that are, I just want to make that known. 3 to 3:30, where we normally would have audio. No audio. I'll be back on the mic myself to wrap things up for you folks right at 3:30. All right. I appreciate you understanding at least. But with that, best of luck trading, folks, going into the market close. I'll talk to you all pretty soon. Take care.